But with this kind of assessment
Yeah.
of being able to think in a system-wide basis, let's suppose we don't standardize someone. We have, is that predicted, for example, if you were to think of a high school graduate who might want to be employed, say, at a company 6 blocks down the street or something, do you know what the predictive power is for performance on the job or some desirable traits for the employee?
I do not. Maybe Pat does.
Okay, yeah.
If Pat doesn't, no one does.
Okay, yeah. No, I'm just curious because it seems like it's another trait, like practical knowledge. This is something more that your ability to put things together, much more than my ability to kind of answer, what F equals MA.
Yeah, and here's what you would like to do. Dan Schwartz at Stanford talks about stuff like this. What we might do is say, if both you and I are going to be assessed for systems thinking, there might be 2 stages in there. The first, and all of them are hooked together on this progression of sophistication of systems thinking. First, we do some tasks in systems that we know something about. He learned something about that. And then we go, that's sort of giving a maximum. In a familiar system, how sophisticated of problems can we figure out and solve? Then, and that's only part of it though. That's sort of like in peak, most favorable conditions. How are we at systems thinking? Then we might go to another one. Your second task, my second task, they're both systems that it is known that we are not familiar with. So the question now is more of a transfer kind of thing. All right, we did great on systems thinking where we knew the system. How were we able to use those ideas and underlying principles in a brand new system to us? So all 4 of those might be different systems, but it is a more coherent way of getting comparable information about us. And an important thing, knowing the situativity, is that it's not just sort of a number, it's a distribution of these systems thinking capabilities. Like, are we really great in one system but can't do anything else? Or we're kind of middling in some, but we're pretty good at adapting what we can do to brand new systems. So it's more than one number that's required. It's a distribution that's an interaction for us personally with the kinds of situations that we would encounter with systems.
You can imagine a variety of these tasks. So
Yes.
if you're doing this like in a classroom or doing it, or even in a training program at a company, you could imagine eventually kind of getting a pretty rich dimensionality.
Yes, and if
pretty rich coverage. But then what would you be discovering and how would it relate to, you call it drop in the sky, but I mean, what's the relationship between the drop in the sky measure, this kind of objective test score, and the measures you have here?